everyone, I am Jacy from Craft Life, and I'm here today to teach you how to make a Rainbow Loom 3D owl with feet, wings, and a tail. And after I posted my tutorial on how to make just a Rainbow Loom 3D owl, I got so many requests to add wings, feet, and a tail. So I'm going to be making it very similar to the way I made it with my penguin. And so the supplies you'll need to make this are a Rainbow Loom, a Rainbow Loom hook or a crochet hook, rubber bands. I'm using a lot of colors, but I'm going to name them all. I'm going to be using orange, white, black, blue, and brown. You will also need scissors, and if you're going to be adding button eyes, you'll need 2 buttons and a Sharpie to draw the eyes on, but I've had so many requests to make Rainbow Loom eyes, so I have them right here, and I'm going to be making a tutorial for them, and I'll put a link in the description box below when the video is posted. And if you want to be notified when they're posted, please don't forget to subscribe. You will also need something to stuff your owl with. Today I'm using polyfill, but if you don't have polyfill, you can use whatever you have and want to use. So please get your supplies and we'll begin. To begin, we need to set up our loom, so we're going to start by taking out our middle row. Then we are going to take this row and we are going to turn it around so that its arrows point to the left. So now push this all down, and we're going to take out the big blue piece on the back. So now make sure everything is pushed down, and we're going to lay X's on these pegs. And we're going to double X the ends because we want a rounded top. So we're going to twist it around our finger for the first one. And we're going to make an X from here to here and press it down. Then we're going to twist it around our finger again and make an X from here to here and push it down again. Now, from now on until we get to the other side, we're just going to lay normal X's like these. And we are not twisting them this time. And make sure you push them down as you go. So now on this end, we are going to double X it. So we're going to twist it around our finger and then make an X from here to here and push it down, and then do the same thing again. So now push this down, and we're going to lay X's from peg to peg all the way down. And on the ends again, we're going to twist it around our finger and make an X. So now until we get to the other side, we're just going to lay normal X's. So we're not twisting them around our finger, and you're just going to push them down as you go. So now from here to here, we're going to twist the rubber band around our finger and then make an X from here to here and push it down. So now push this all down, and we are going to lay our top row. So on this top row, we're going to start from on these 2 pegs. And do not push this row down, and we're just going to lay rubber bands in a counterclockwise rotation all the way around. So now we have a top row and a bottom row, and we're going to go in a clockwise rotation, and all we're going to do is take our hook, and on the ends, you have to be very careful because they are twisted around your finger, so they're doubled. And what you need to do is stick your hook down into it and then bring it over the top. Now do the same for this one. Then for the rest, so now push this down, and the rest of the rows from here to here and all around are going to be much easier because all you have to do is bring 2 loops over instead of the doubled rubber bands. So we're just going to lay another row in a counterclockwise rotation and do not push it down. So now we have a top row and a bottom row, and what you're going to do is bring your bottom loops over the top, and each peg is going to have 2 loops that you're going to bring over. So now push this down. And we have just done 2 rows, and an owl takes up 20 rows. So if you're going to make your owl all one color, you're going to do 18 more rows of laying your rubber bands in a counterclockwise rotation, then bring your bottom 2 loops over the top in a clockwise rotation, and push it down as you go. Now, if you are going to do more than one color, you're going to do 9 more rows of this so that you have 11 rows in total. So if you're going to be doing that, I'll be right back to show you how. I just finished my 9 more rows, and now I have 11 rows in total. And this is only if you want to add the second color. If you don't, you can just keep going with your same color. But I'm going to be switching colors here to make the stomach. And for this, you'll need your second color. And you're just going to start by going around until you get all the way down. So just go around like this in a counterclockwise rotation. So now when we get to here, we're going to leave 3 pegs on both sides. So the colorful pegs are going to have 5. So it's going to be 5 rubber bands in the middle and then 2 rubber bands on each side. So we're just going to do 1 rubber band here. Then we're going to do our second one. And we're going to switch color here. For the 5 pegs. And then once you get to these 3 pegs again, you're going to lay your same color again. So that is what it should look like. You have your pegs here with the colors, and then 3 pegs on either side are going to have brown, or whatever color you are using for your body. So now we are going to bring our bottom loops over the top like we normally would. So just bring your bottom 2 loops over the top in a clockwise rotation. Now push this down. So now we're going to start with our body color and then go around again. So now again I have those 3 pegs that I'm going to lay my brown on, and it is only 2 brown rubber bands, not 3. Then I'm going to switch my color on these 5 pegs. And then on these 3, I'm just going to lay my body color again. Now each peg has 2 rubber bands, and we're just going to bring those 2 over the top. So we have just done 2 rows of our other color, and you want to have 7 rows in total, so please continue this for 5 more rows. So you're going to lay your rubber bands in a counterclockwise rotation, and again, when you get to the 3rd peg, you're going to switch color, and then when you get to the 3rd peg on this side, you're going to switch color again, back to your body color, and then each peg is going to have 2 rubber bands, and you're just going to bring them over the top in a clockwise rotation and push them down as you go. So please do 5 more rows of this, and I'll be right back. I just finished my 5 more rows, and now I have 7 rows in total. And now we're just going to finish this off and do 2 more rows, and then we're done. So we are going to just lay our rubber bands in a counterclockwise rotation, and we are just doing it all one color this time. We are not switching color. And do not push these down. So now we have a bottom row and a top row, and we're just going to bring our bottom 2 rubber bands over the top on all of our pegs. Now you're going to push these all down. Now we're going to lay 1 more row. Now we have a top row and a bottom row, and we're just going to bring our bottom 2 loops over the top on all of our pegs. Now we're just going to push them all down. Once they are all pushed down, we are going to hook this all off, but since we went in a counterclockwise rotation, we need to take the top loop on this one and switch it to the bottom. So what you're going to do is take the top loop, and you're going to put it on your finger. Then we're going to take the bottom loop and hold it on our hook. Then put the rubber band that's on our finger down, and then the one that's on our hook. So now we can hook it all correctly, and we're going to start on this peg, and we're going to go in a clockwise rotation. And I know this was my bottom loop because it hooked the loop behind it. So make sure that yours is the bottom loop too. And it's a good thing that I made that fix because that was my bottom loop and it hooked all the loops behind it. So please continue this all the way around and check as you go. Now on our last peg, we're just going to stick our hook in, grab a rubber band, put it on our hook, pull it through, and place it back on, and then pull one loop through the other. Now we need to sew this all up into one, and to do that we need to make a chain like this one here. And to do that, we are going to take 2 rubber bands, stick them on our hook, take another 2 rubber bands, pull them through, place it back on, and pull these two loops through the other 2 loops. Now we're going to do that same thing over and over again. So pull these 2 like that. And you're just going to do this and make sure you are using 2 rubber bands each time. And you want to do this until you can count 10 of them. So you should have a chain of 10. So please make that and I'll be right back. Now, once you have your chain of 20 rubber bands, which is also 10 loops, we are ready to sew it through our owl. So we are going to start on this peg, the slip knot peg. We're going to stick our hook in and grab the top and pull this through until you have your last loop sticking out, your last 2 loops sticking out. Now, we're going to stick our hook up and then pull this down. Pull our chain down. Make sure you don't pull too much because you want to have some extra on the end to tie it off at the very end. So what we're going to continue doing is sticking our hook up and then pulling this down. So stick your hook up and pull this down. So just continue this. I did not make it to the very end, and all you have to do now is pull them off. But only take off the ones that have your chain on it. So now all you want to do is gently pull so you get some extra out of this that you can use for the rest of our rubber bands that we need to put on this. So now what we're going to do is just continue going around. So stick this up through and pull this back down. And we can just take that one off. And then we only have one more row to do. So we're just going to go down this row. Finally on my last one, and I'm just going to pull it through and take these off. Now you can pull it through again some more, but don't pull it too tight because we still need to stuff it. And when you turn it upside down, we need to attach eyes here and the nose and then do the ears. So we are going to make those parts and I'll be right back. Now we are ready to attach the eyes, and for my eyes I'm using buttons, and all I did was take a Sharpie and draw a circle around the buttonholes, and you can do that too if you would like. And I forgot to mention, you will need black rubber bands for the eyes. So we're going to start by taking a rubber band, twisting it once on our hook, then taking another one, twisting it once, and then pull these 2 loops, place it back on, and we're going to pull these 2 loops through the other 2. So we just doubled it, twisted it I mean, and we pulled it through each other. And we're just going to do that one more time. So twist it on our hook, and then pull this through. Place it back on and pull these 2 loops through the other 2 loops. Now we're going to do the same thing for the other one. So twist it on. And then place it back on. And pull these 2 loops through the other 2 loops. Then take another one, put it on, twist it on, then pull this through, place it back on, pull these two through the other two. So now we have them ready for both eyes. So now we're going to take our dental floss and we're going to take one end of our chain and we're going to stick it through both loops. And then put the two ends together and twist them. Now we're going to take our button and go up through one and then down through the other buttonhole. And then you just need to pull very quickly and it will go through. And if it breaks, you might have to try again. And mine went through luckily. So now you can just pull it off. And we need to add one more to both sides for tying purposes. So we're going to twist it on one more time. Pull it through, place it back on, and pull these two loops through the other two. Now do it for the other side too. Take one rubber band, twist it. And then you're going to pull it through, place it back on, and then pull these two through the other two. So now it should look like this, and you have long enough strands on both sides to tie it on. And we're going to do the same exact thing for the other eye. So now once you have both of these done, we're going to take our owl and we're going to find where we want to place them. And you want them extremely close to each other, just maybe 2 rows apart. So I'm going to place mine on either side. So find the middle, and I'm going to place one here and one here, like that. So I'm going to take my hook, and actually you're going to fold this down so you can get to it easily. And I'm going to stick my hook up where I want the first side of one eye, and I'm going to place it there, and then the other one's going to go there, and then it will just work out if you put it there. So now I'm going to pull one side through, make sure you have both of your loops. If you lose them, you can just go back and get them. Now you're going to hold this on your hook. Make sure you hold it. And this is going to be difficult, but you need to stick your hook back up next to it. Make sure you're still holding those loops back down on your hook. And you're going to grab these loops and pull them down as well. And make sure you don't collect any loops like I did inside, so I'm going to take those off and try again. So I have mine down, like that. And now I can just tie these two together if they look correct in the front, which they do. So just push this all down so you can make a knot. And I like to use my hook for this if it's needed, because I can hold it and then use my hook. But the hook is not always needed, only if they're too short. So now, once I have one eye in, I need to do the other one. And since this one is like that, I'm going to probably place the next one right here. Make sure they are in the same row though. Straight across, I'm going to put it right here. So they sit right next to each other. And I'm going to take one side first, pull it down, and remember, hold it on our hook, and then we're going to go back up in the same row and grab the next rubber bands and pull these down again. So now just make sure they're on the same level. And actually, I found out before I tied mine that they're not. So you can look from the inside too to make sure that the rubber bands are in a line. So I'm going to switch this one down to this one so they all are equal. So if it helps, you can just stick it up where you need it and then grab it. And now, since they are all in a line, I'm going to tie them together in the back. Just tie them twice. So now, since they are so close to each other, when you put in the stuffing, it will just blow it all up and they will be farther apart. And you can fix them up if you would like. And now we are ready to attach the beak. Now we are ready to make the beak, and for this you will need orange rubber bands. So we're going to start by putting 2 rubber bands on our hook. Then we're going to grab 4 more, place them on our hook, and pull these 2 off. And then put those 4 on, place them back on, and then you're going to pull these 4 loops through the other 4. And pull this nice and tight. Then we're going to take 2 more rubber bands, place them on the top of your hook, pull them through, place them back on, and pull these 2 loops through the other 2. So now I just wanted to show you that my eyes are 2 columns apart, and I'm going to put my beak right in the center of these columns. So I'm going to fold this again, and I'm going to stick my hook up right between the eyes. Not right between, but down a little, like right there. I'm going to pull my first side down through. So now we're going to pull this up on our hook, and you're going to hold this again. And I'm just going to go 2 down, so right here. And then I'm going to pull these 2 down. And as you can see, it's pulling the 4 rubber bands too. And I'm just going to take that black rubber band off. Now we can just tie them together, but make sure that it looks good in the front first. And it does. So we're going to tie them loosely together. Don't tie them too tight, or else you will get to see inside of your owl, which you do not want. So just tie them so that the 2 knots meet up there. And then tie them again. So now if you want, you can fix up your 4 rubber bands there to make them look more like a beak. But I like mine just how it is. And now we are going to stuff our owl, so you're just going to use the material you're stuffing yours with. And we're going to start with little pieces and stuff it. So now, once you have as much stuffing as you would like inside of your owl, we are going to sew up the bottom, and to do that, we are just going to take the rubber bands, the sewing rubber bands, our chain, and we're just going to gently pull them tight. And that's as far as mine can go, and all we're going to do is sew up the rest. So tie these two in a knot. I did mine in a double knot, and then you can cut it off. Cut some off, don't cut it all off. And we are just going to tuck these inside. And then if you want, you can just put the tiniest piece of stuffing in to cover it and hold it down. So now we're going to sew it up, and we're going to stick our hook on that brown rubber band or slip knot, and we're going to take another rubber band and add it to it. So place it back on and then pull one loop through the other. Now we're going to sew it up in T so it's a rounded bottom, and we're going to stick our hook in across from it. Facing downward, you're going to pull this through. Then we're going to go on this side, the side next to it, and we're going to pull it down and through. And then we're going to go straight across from it. Pull this through. And we're going to sew it up 2 more times, right here and then straight across from this. So just pull this through. And then one more on this side, straight across from it. So now with this, we can just tuck it into our owl, and I'm going to sew between the columns and just pull this through. And once you have sewed it down in enough, it should stand. And for the ears, you can use whatever color you want. I'm going to be using blue because that's what I used for the stomach. You can just fix it up. So now for the ears, you're going to take a rubber band and your hook and stick your hook in through its ear. Just grab a few rubber bands, pull this through, and we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut one end and hold the other. Then we're just going to hold one side and then pull the other side through, like that. And what you can do is just tie these two together in a double knot. And you're just going to do that so you have 3 of them. Okay, so it can be kind of tricky to get it through some rubber bands, but you just have to keep trying. And again, we're going to cut it and then hold one and pull the other side. And we're going to tie these two together. And it does not matter which direction they're facing. And we're going to do it one more time. So hold one side and pull the other. And we're just going to tie these in a double knot. Now we're going to take that same color rubber band, we're going to stretch it out and hold all of them in a group, and we're just going to start twisting this around them. So start at the bottom and just keep wrapping at the bottom too. Don't go up too high. I'm going to do mine for one more twist. And then you can let it go. And they will go in all different directions, and that's how it's supposed to look. Then we're going to do the same thing for the other side. So just grab a few rubber bands. Grab a rubber band. Pull it through. Take your scissors. Cut it. Hold one side and pull the other side. And just remember to double knot them. Now you can just pull your ears up more to make them look like ears. Now we are ready to make the wings, feet, and the tail, and we're going to start off by making the wings. So the wings are going to be quite different than the ones that I made on my penguin. Instead of doubling the bands like I did here, I'm just going to leave them. And it's going to be a more thick wing. And so to make this, you're going to take your wing loom and leave it in a staggered position like this, and you're just going to lay a rubber band here, lay one here, push it down, and lay one here and push it down. So I just have started on each row down, and so you're going to go down 7 pegs on this side, 8 pegs in the middle, and then 7 pegs on the other side. So I'm going to go down 7. Now I'm going to do the middle, which is 8 pegs. And now I'm going to go down the other side and do 7 pegs again. Now on either side, I'm just going to go in with 1 rubber band. So go in, push it down, and go in, push it down. And now you're going to turn your loom around so that all the arrows are pointing towards you. And we're going to make triangles. So we're going to start on these 2 pegs and then go up. So I'm going to lay it here and then go up. So I just made a triangle. Then I'm going to make another one on my next 3 pegs. And do not push these down. And you want to stop on the 3 pegs right before the last 3 pegs here. So here's my last triangle. And now on my last peg here, I'm going to twist a rubber band around 3 times on it. You can twist yours around 4 if you would like, but I don't want to twist mine too tight. So now we are going to stick our hook in, pull back the cap band, and just simply grab the top rubber band. And mine leads me in this direction, so I'm going to place it on this peg. Then I'm going to do it again, pull back the cap band, grab my next top, bring it to the peg diagonal, and then grab my last one and bring it to the peg in front of it. So now I'm just going to hook down all of these, and to do it, you're just going to stick your hook in, grab the bottom loop, and bring it to the peg in front of it. And on this corner, I'm just going to take it and bring it diagonal. Now I'm going to do the middle. And then I'm going to do this row. And then bring it diagonal. So now you're going to stick your hook in all of this. Now you're going to take 2 rubber bands, place them on your hook, pull these up through, place it back on, and pull these 2 loops through the other 2 loops. And then pull that tight. Now we're just going to take this off our loom. And you can just fix it up and stretch it out. And now you're going to make another one of these. I have mine already made, and now I'm going to show you how to attach these to your owl. So I have my owl here, and I'm ready to attach them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach them on this row, which is 1 row away from their eye. So where their eye ends, I'm going to skip 1 row. So I'm going to do it on this row. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Skip this row and do it on this side. But you can figure out where you want to place them on that row. If you want them really high, low, I'm going to do them right about there. And you want them to be equal. So you're going to start on one side, and you want to stick your hook through just one of these loops here, one of these little fishtails. And you're going to stick it from back to front. So now that I have it on, I'm going to grab my 2 loops at the end of one of my wing, and then I'm going to pull this back. And then I'm just going to wrap this around my wing. And then wrap it again. So now that it sticks out like this, I don't like it like that, so I'm going to sew it inward. And so to do that, I have these loops at the top, and I'm just going to stick my hook through on the first side here. So I just stick it through that side. And now I'm just going to grab a few loops on this side from my owl. Then I'm going to grab 1 rubber band, place it on my hook, pull this through, place it back on, and pull 1 loop through the other. So what I just did there was I took some loops from the wing and some loops from my owl, and I attached them together with a slip knot. And now back on this side, I'm going to stick my hook through this side at the top here. Then I'm going to pull this loop down. And then I'm going to do one final step, which is put it on my finger. Then I'm going to grab some loops from my owl again, and then pull this loop down. And then for the final step of all of this, I'm just going to wrap this around my whole wing. So now my wing is attached, and I'm going to show you how to do it one more time with my other wing. So I'm just going to go across the face with my finger, and then I'm going to put my finger where I want the other wing to be. So I'm pretty sure it's about right there. And I'm going to turn it, stick my hook through the back to the front like this. Then I'm going to pull these 2 loops from my wing through. And then I'm going to put them around the wing and twist it. And again, it sticks out from my owl, and at this point, you just want to make sure that it's the same height as the other one, which it is. So now I'm ready to sew this onto my owl. And so I'm going to stick my hook through some loops at the top of this side of my owl. And then I'm actually going to stick it through loops on my actual owl. So I have some loops from the wing on this side and some loops from the owl on that side as well. Then I'm going to take a rubber band, place it on my hook, pull this through, place it back on, and pull one loop through the other. And then I'm going to go on this side and do the same thing. I'm going to stick my hook through some loops on that side of the wing. I'm going to pull that loop down, place it on my finger, and then on my owl I'm going to grab some loops again. So just grab some, pull the loop through, and then stretch that loop all the way over the wing. So now you have both of your wings attached, and now we are ready to add on some feet. Now we are ready to make the feet, and for my feet, I usually like to make them the same color as my owl, but you can make them whatever color you want to make them. And usually at the end, I like to give them little claws, but you don't have to do that either. So I have one foot already made, and this is what it looks like. And now I'm going to show you how to make another. So you're going to start off by taking a rubber band, and since I'm making claws, I'm going to be using a black rubber band, but you can use whatever color you want to use, and you're going to wrap it around your hook 4 times like this. And now you're going to take 2 more rubber bands of your owl color, place them on your hook, and then to get these over, I like to pinch them and pull them over. And then you're going to slide this in the middle of your rubber bands, place it back on, and then you're going to take 2 more rubber bands of your owl color. You're going to pull these through, slide it up, place it back on. I'm going to continue doing this until I have 4 loops in total. And now once I have my 4 loops in total, I can count them and make sure. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm going to slide this up onto my hook and make the other side, and I'm going to do the same exact thing that I just did. So now I have 4 loops in total, and I'm just going to slide this one back on to the top of my hook like this one. And they're the exact same size. And now I'm going to take 2 more rubber bands, place them on my hook, pull these both through, slide it up, place it back on, and pull these 2 loops through the other 2 loops, and pull that tight. So now they're just going in separate directions, and I want to sew them up so they're like this. So what I'm going to do now is just stick my hook through this side, and I just stick it right through the middle here. So I'm just going to stick it in again. Make sure you are grabbing the same row from both sides, and to make sure you are doing this, you're just going to look to see that you have 2 on this side and 2 on this side. So now I'm going to place this on my hook. Just grab one, and then pull this through, both of them, slide it up, place it back on, and pull one loop through the other, and pull that tight. Now I'm going to do it one more time, so I'm going to stick it up, So now I have both of them on my hook. I'm going to grab one rubber band, and I just want to show you that I have one loop down on both sides, and then I'm on my second to last loop, and I'm just going to pull these through. Slide it up, place it back on, and pull one loop through the other. Now I want to bring these two loops to the top like this one, these two here. And so I'm going to start with the one down here, and I'm going to stick my hook down inside under where I put this one. I just stuck my hook under it. And then I'm going to pull this up through. So now this one's at the top, and for the other one, I'm just going to pull it through some loops at the top. So the whole point of that was just to bring them all up, but now you're going to stick all of the loops, including the two at the top, on your hook. You're going to grab two more rubber bands, place them on your hook, pull these all through, place it back on, and pull these two loops through the other two loops. So now this is what it should look like. Your loops here might be different because you may have pulled them through other rubber bands. And so now I have both of my feet and I'm ready to attach them to my owl. So to do this, I'm going to stick my hook in from front to back, and you can start wherever you want. You can start with this one or this one. And I like to put them like farther away from each other, like I did here. They're pretty close, but as you can see, there is a space between them. So I'm going to do what I did here, which was stick my hook through this side first. I just took a lot here. Then I'm going to take the two loops at the end of one of my feet and pull this all the way through. And now what you want to do is you're going to wrap these two loops around your foot to bring it back to the front here. So you're going to wrap them around your foot like that, and then you're going to wrap them around one more time. Just like that, and now they're on. You can pull it to the front more. And your first foot is on, and now we're going to do the other one. I'm going to bend my feet like this. And now we're ready to make the tail. Now we're ready to make the tail, and to make this, you're going to leave your rain balloon in its staggered position, and we're just going to start each of our rows. So start there, start it there, and start it there. And you're going to go 5 pegs down the middle, and then 4 pegs down each side. So now I have 4 pegs here, and then I'm going to do 5 pegs in the middle, and then 4 pegs down this side. So now I have my 4 pegs covered on this side, 5 pegs covered in the middle, and then 4 pegs on this side. And now I'm going to go in on each side. So just go in. And now I'm going to turn my loom around, and I'm going to make some triangles, and these triangles are all going to be double wrapped or twisted around my finger. So I just twisted a rubber band around my finger, and I'm going to make a triangle on these 3 pegs, and then you're just going to continue this. And you don't want to cover these 3 at the end, so just leave these alone. And then on your first peg here, you're just going to twist it around 3 or 4 times. I'm doing mine 3 times. Now you're going to stick your hook in, grab a top loop, and bring it to the peg diagonal from it. Stick your hook in again, grab that top loop, bring it to the peg diagonal from it, and then bring it to the peg in front of it. Now you're just going to hook down each side. So my rubber band just broke, and I'm going to show you what to do if this ever happens to you. You're just going to place a new rubber band on the peg in front of it. Then you're going to stick your hook through all of the loops. Pull this up through and around. And then it's good as new. And then I'm going to go diagonal. Now I'm going to hook up the middle and just do the same thing. Now I'm going to stick my hook in on that last peg. Grab 2 rubber bands, place them on my hook, pull these up through, place it back on, and pull these 2 loops through the other 2 loops. Pull that tight, and then take this all off. So now you can just fix this up. And now we are ready to attach it to our owl. Now we're going to put on the tail, and to do this, you're just going to go up 8 rows on one of these. Then you're going to stick your hook in. And I'm doing it right in the middle, and since it is in a row here, I'm just going to combine these 2 here. And all you have to do is just stick it in. Pull the 2 loops from the end of your tail through. Wrap these around your tail. And you're not going to pull your tail down yet, because what you want to do is sew this into the back of your owl. And so to do this, I'm going to stick my hook in the middle of the tail here. Then I'm going to pull these 2 loops down through the middle, and then place them on your finger. And then I'm just going to go down however many rows there are to go down. So I have 3 here. Pull this through, and then wrap the rest of this around the tail. And now it's on your owl for good, and it should be able to stand if you just balance it out. You may need to work with it to get it to stand. You're done now. This is what it looks like when it's done, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you make some, I'd love to see them. My Instagram is CraftLifeUSA, so please tag me in a photo. And don't forget to like us on Facebook, pin it on Pinterest, and subscribe right here on YouTube. I hope you're living a craft life just like me. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!